Another Brick fan here with a Spider-Man Far From Home set. This is Hydro Man Attack. This is set 76129, was released in April 2019, has 471 pieces, 4 minifigures, and cost about $40 when it was released. This is one of 3 sets released for the movie Spider-Man Far From Home. This depicts a scene in the movie where a water elemental attacks near the Rialto Bridge in Venice, Italy. I like the selection of minifigures here. It was really great to get an MJ character, and it's nice to see Spider-Man, or in this case Peter Parker, as a minifigure. The Hydro Man minifigure is also really great. We'll take a look at those here in a minute, but let's take a look at the main build first. In keeping with the water theme, there is a gondola here. A very simple build, but I think it's quite effective. And it can fit 2 minifigures. Inside there's 4 studs in there. Going to be a tight fit. It should probably be a little bit bigger because you need to have a gondolier in the back, so maybe it would have been nicer to have done that, but obviously there's no gondolier minifigure included with this set. And then it just contains this bar piece as the oar or paddle that goes with this little gondola. Still a nice inclusion with the set. The main build is based on the Rialto Bridge, which is a iconic bridge over the canals in Italy. There's a little cafe and a bell tower up here in the corner. You can see there's a spider web that has been attached to this bell tower as well. Some greenery on the top, and then if you look closely, there's this sticker here, which represents the cafe that we are looking at. Looking on the side, you see inside the coffee shop is a coffee maker here. Not a lot of other space, no cash register or anything, just a very small space here. The tower, I think, is done with some nice shaping here, which I think looks really good. There's some outside seating for the cafe. And you see on this table here, there's a coffee cup, a piece of pizza, and then a newspaper which has some French writing in here talking about the appearance of Mysterio. So I think that's a nice sticker that was included. This isn't a print, it's a sticker. 2 seats here for minifigures to sit down. If we put a minifigure in the chair here, and then there's this action feature here to knock that minifigure off. If you hit it hard enough, it will flip that up. So we'll flip the minifigure off, which is a good action feature. The other action feature is actually up here on the bridge. There's another one of these plungers in the back, and if we hit that, it blows the bridge apart and flips whatever minifigure is on top there. So these pieces are just those tile pieces with the 4 studs on one end, built up with that same bridge piece. And looking underneath, you see there's just a Technic ball piece there. So if we drop these back into place, turn our bridge around, you see here is the action feature here. You push this and it pops that up. One more thing to look at is down here. And you see there's a rat going after another piece of pizza, and there's a gem back in there. And lastly, there are some of these headlight pieces or stud on the side pieces here, so you can take the various web accessories and push those in various places on the bridge. So to indicate that Peter has shot a few webs at the bridge trying to defeat the Hydro Man, which is a very nice figure and very tall on this big water spout, which makes for a very nice little play set. Let's take a closer look at the minifigures. The minifigures include Mysterio, Hydro Man, Peter Parker, and MJ. This is Michelle Jones, not Mary Jane, so this is a different MJ than the traditional comic book MJ. All of these figures are exclusive to this set, except for Mysterio. He appears in all the Far From Home sets. Peter is done in his street clothes. He's got a gray jacket over kind of a light bluish shirt, And then his Spider-Man uniform underneath, plain blue legs. I like this new head piece here, this new hood. It is kind of halfway covering his head with his Spider-Man mask, which I think is a good look. Mary Jane is here with the nougat skin tone, which I think is accurate. Red shirt, kind of a white jacket over the top, black pants. And this good hairpiece in all black. Peter does come with a standard hairpiece. So here's Peter with his dark brown hair. Moving around the figures. There's no printing on the sides. A little bit of a printing of a hoodie here. So a hood for the back of his jacket. A little bit of other detailing. Here is MJ's alternate face. She's also wearing a hoodie. And then here's Peter's alternate face as well. And then just to show, the hood kind of does slope in the back here. It has this wrinkles in it, so it does look like it's scrunched up on Peter Parker, which I think is a good look. Let's take a look at the next two figures. Starting off with the full Hydro Man look, he has this really nice kind of whirlpool or water spout built up using a lot of these hood pieces. These are kind of used on cars or motorcycles a lot. They're in this nice trans darker blue. Several of them have these stickers on them that indicate turbulence in the water. Those are kind of scattered around along with some of these trans blue cheese wedge pieces. Makes for a really interesting look for the figure. Really makes him a large and menacing figure. And inside it is just a minifigure, so let's take a close look at that. So here's just the base minifigure for Hydro Man and then Mysterio. Mysterio has these power pieces that shoot from his hands, which are fairly common in these superhero sets. Hydro Man is done in this nice two-tone blue, so his head is in the lighter blue and then body's in kind of a standard blue coloring. Good printing on the torso, so the arms are in the darker blue and the torso is in the lighter blue. I like the face that is printed there with him. Mysterio has this very good printing on his chest piece. It goes all the way down his legs with some gold accents on the toes and knees, which I think looks really good. The head is just a silver minifigure head and then this clear helmet that goes over that, which I think gives a appropriate look for the character. He is unknown, right? So he's very mysterious looking. Inside the helmet, I think in the comics there's supposed to be like smoke or mist in there. And I think that silver minifigure head represents that pretty well. Our Hydro Man has some more bubbles or kind of water look on his head here. Some more printing on the back of his torso. Mysterio has very similar printing on the back of his torso as the front of his torso with some gold and kind of magenta highlights or pinkish highlights, the same color as the cape. This is the softer cape material, which I think looks very good and certainly is easier to work with. The prior material was a lot stiffer or more solid, and it tended to bend and then stick in places, or you could get folds in it that wouldn't go away. So I like this new material better. So there are our 4 minifigures. Let's go back to the set and I'll give you my final thoughts. Overall, I think this is a nice little scene from the movie. I think it's accurately depicted. I really like the little action features where the bridge explodes, the cafe people can be thrown into the water. Nice little action features. Then under the bridge there's that little rat with his gem and piece of pizza. So there's nice little details that are added in there. This little lamppost build is actually pretty cool. This is a standard city lamppost you see in the Creator Expert sets a lot. And then it has one of these kind of rounded cone pieces that goes over the top of a 1x1 clear brick, which I think turned out pretty good. There's the little columns here in front of the entrance to the restaurant, and then there's a representation of the bell tower there in the back. As I said, when looking at the minifigures, I really liked this build for Hydro Man. I thought it turned out really nice. It was nice to get that newspaper in Italian, which I thought was a really good detail as well. As far as the value goes, there's nearly 500 pieces for a $40 set, which I think is a really good value as far as price per piece. It does build up a very nice scene, as I mentioned. The minifigures are really good. It's great to get an MJ figure, and it's nice to get a Peter Parker figure. Most of the time we get a Spider-Man figure, and there's been several versions of him in different costumes, but in this case it's nice to see Peter Parker. The Hydro Man build really is nice. The water spout is a pretty simple build, but it does look very cool in the way that they did all of the different sculpting with these sloped pieces and the trans blue, and then the trans blue cheese wedges make it really look like swirling water, especially with the use of these stickers on a few of those trans blue pieces make it really bring out that water effect. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this set. I'm going to get started on another video, and until then, happy building!
If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to see more new content. I've left a link to my Marvel Superheroes playlist if you want to see more reviews.